family, whomever, and you've tried ways to figure it out yourself, and it's just not getting there. You're not getting over the hump. At that point, I would say we all should take a step back and think about why aren't we able to achieve what we want? And if you find that the answer is, I don't know, then maybe you should talk to a coach.
Okay.
Because if you're unable to resolve the issue yourself through all the means that we have, if you're just not able to get over that hump, then maybe it's time to talk with someone. And that doesn't necessarily have to be me. It doesn't, whoever you choose, but having a coach doesn't mean that you haven't succeeded. It doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean that you can't handle it on your own. It simply means having an accountability partner or having someone who can give you an unbiased opinion, someone who can kind of stand by your side to say, well, you said you wanted to accomplish this. Why aren't you doing X, Y, Z to get it done?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm there to help and push you forward. So I would say for anyone listening, if you're at a point in your life, your career, where things just aren't quite where you want them to be for whatever reason, take a step back and think, could you accomplish what you want to accomplish if you continue to do it on your own? And if the answer is no, then that's where you maybe think about getting a coach or accountability partner is what we would say. Wow.
Excellent advice. And this is coming from a woman who's had a coach twice in her life. So, excellent advice. Lisa?
Now, I have never had a coach, but I know you were talking earlier on your interview with Angela K. Austin when you did your Instagram, and you were saying, do you know who you are? And it's the biggest challenge that women face. Do you know who you are? And I found like this quote on your website that resonated with me. It says, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Yeah. Tell us about that and how you coach your clients into finding out who they actually are.
So that question of, do you know who you are? It actually is something that stayed in my head for years. And it's interesting enough. So the backstory to that is there is a movie with Goldie Hawn and Susan Sarandon, and it's called The Banger Sisters. Have you ever heard that movie?
Yes.
So as a part of that movie, what happened during this movie is that Susan Sarandon, she became someone she no longer recognized. Who she was as a young woman and just the fun and the behavior and how she wanted to tackle life, it morphed into something that she did not even recognize herself. The people who knew her didn't recognize her. And there was a line in that movie where she, everyone was kind of the expectations and the pressure and, you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be that, and why aren't you this for us? Why aren't you this for us, your family? And she had a moment where she said, I don't even know who I am anymore, right? And so that over the years, that has stuck with me, that as women, we forget who we are as women, as individuals, as people, right? We become so mired in the role we play to everyone else. Mm-hmm. And so if I were to ask you, Lisa, that question,
don't turn it back on
me. I'm not going to ask you to answer it. I'm not going to ask you to answer it. Don't ask me. I'm not going to ask you to answer it. But if you and I were in a coaching session, that would be one of the first questions I would ask you, and I would expect you to answer. I would ask, so tell me, who are you? And what the answer I usually get from people is based on, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a chief HR officer, it's jobs, it's titles, it's, right? it's the labels that people put on us rather than, I'm this creative person and I just love to go out and I roll in the grass and I go on runs and I love to dance and I love to blah, 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 whatever that, whatever makes us unique, whatever makes us who, the person we are, we forget about that person. And we hold on to the labels that people have placed on us over the years. And that is what begins to define us. And if you heard, I don't know if you heard Angela, she and I have had this conversation before, and she and I both have had our aha moment where, yes, for many, many years, when someone would say, well, who are you? Tell me about yourself. We led with, well, I'm a chief HR officer. I'm a chief marketing officer. We led with our title rather than who we are as a person, as a woman, as a creative, as a, what makes us unique. And so part of the coaching process that I take people through is I help you understand and clarify who you are in this world, how you step out into this world, how you prefer to step out into this world, and how do people perceive you? And is that what you want? Is that the right thing? If you were to ask your spouse, your family, your best friend, who do they think you are? Do you think you'd guess? Would they identify who you are as a person, right? Would they know who you are as or would they begin to categorize you by your labels? Wife, mother, right? That's the aha. That's the aha that I try. That first real session that I take people through is you have to know who you are first before anyone else can label you. If you don't know who you are, then how will someone else know who you are? And how will you know that you are succeeding in this world the way that you are meant to, living your best life, living the life you were meant to live, if you're dependent upon the labels that everyone else puts on you? So that's really kind of the first breakthrough that we go through during my coaching that I have with people.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome because so many times all those labels that you named, when we want to go to the next level, and it can be scary, like that change, you fall back on all those labels. Like, oh, I got to start wiping. I got to start being a mother. Or I got to start doing this. And it holds you right there from reaching, that next thing that you, the person, in your heart of hearts, really wants for you. So I can totally relate to that. And I remember going through this moment myself. And I'm so glad that you said it here on the show, Lee, because we need reminders, right? We need reminders of who we are, separate from all those other wonderful things that we do, in our lives for other people. But we also have to remember that we have our own hopes and goals and dreams for ourselves, and they are vitally important as well.
Yes,
so,
that is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. Absolutely. And that's the power behind that clarity that you get. It's once you know who you are, yes, you're right. We are all of those things, but we are also more than those things. We are so much more than that. And once we realize who we are, once we rediscover our voice, once we find our innate strength, right? Our power. We bring so much power to the world, to the table, to whatever we're doing, the innate power we have ourselves. Once we rediscover what that is, there's no stopping us. You want to get that corner office with faux mahogany furniture? You got this. You got it, right?
Oh, I'm like, did you say so?
Right. That was my dream. Faux mahogany furniture, business card, corner office. I made it. I made it. Once I had that, I made it.
Yes.
But then you realize there's more than that, right? And then you have to figure out what is next. What is the next step from that point? So
that is right, especially since we're all at home now. So I hope you still got that corner office though in the house, but you know. Well, we have had a wonderful time tonight, but we only have about 4 minutes left. So Lee, you have to tell us, where can we find you? How do we stay tapped into you? Where are you going to be online in the world?
Absolutely. So there's several places. So anyone can absolutely go to my website. It's just alexadomcoach.com, and it actually allows you on my website. I have 2 freebies available. One is 32 strategies to strengthen your self-confidence. You just sign up for that, and you get the downloads or the documents sent over to you. There's also a freebie checklist of 7 daily habits of outstanding leaders. So whichever your passion, right, whether it's, improving your self-confidence or becoming a better leader, I have something for you. So if you go to my website and download any of those, you then get on my mailing list, and you'll get some regular information from me about those topics, and we can stay in touch. You can also find me on Instagram under Alexidom Coach, and I do try and put up content and information on a daily basis. And then I'm also on Facebook under Alexidom Coaching, and I have a page there, and I also have a private group that I'm in on a regular basis, and I go live every single week in my group, and we talk about whatever topics are front and center for the members in that group. So I would definitely welcome anyone, connecting with me through any of those methods and means, and I am absolutely happy to welcome you into my world. So please definitely connect.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Lisa, any last words?
I do have one last word, and it is a quote from Marianne Williamson, because it reminds me of what your whole coaching is about. It says, "Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?" I'm going to stop it there. It was a little bit long.
Perfect. I love it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, everybody, we want to thank Lee Mariano for coming on the show and talking to us from Alexidom Coaching. Tonight's podcast is sponsored by Messy Mandy and the Lunchtime Chronicles Season 3.
Yay.
There's 10 short, hot, erotic romances starting October 14th, and you can join the Lunchtime Dish with Messy Mandy Facebook group for cover reveals and all the feels starting this week. Until next time, be awesome, be amazing, be wild. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.